Welcome to Hotline 21. I'm your host, the Executive Director of Gift House. And today we got a great show for you today. But first, I want to just handle some in house business. For those of you who want to get a free HIV STD test, we also do diabetes and hypertension screening. And these are all free tests. You can come to the Gift House at 1309 South Kedzie Avenue, and that's of course in Chicago. If you want to drop us an email, you can do so at the Gift House at sbcglobal.net, or you can check us out on the web, www.thegifthouse.org. So, I'll put that information up throughout the show. So if you didn't get it, if you want to write it down, you'll see it again. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about energy. I'm going to talk about energy, particularly in the urban area. If you live on the south side of Chicago, or if you live in Lawndale or the Garfield Park area, you may not see as many solar panels that you really need to see in areas where they need energy. And there's several things that we need to be concerned with this energy. For example, you may have know of someone who had their electric turned off, and they may have medical supplies that keep them alive. I mean, a person could have kidney disease, and they may have a machine that helps them with their kidneys. It runs off electricity. And so if your power is out, then that may be life-threatening. Then there's the issue with regard to just having the power turned off, and say there aren't any life-threatening situations in the home. But there's food. Your food will go bad after a certain amount of days without power to the refrigerator or the freezer. And so energy becomes a factor. And what we're going to do, we're going to show people and how to install, solar panels. How to install solar panels, how the inverter works with the battery bank, and this is an off-grid system. This is completely off-grid. You don't need to be hooked up to anything. You're completely off-grid, but you'll be able to run your television, all the lights in the home, a 110 air conditioner, not 240, but a 110 air conditioner, the unit I'm talking about. There are other units where you can run a much larger air conditioner, but this one I'm referring to, you can do a 110 air conditioner, all of your electrical lights in your home, your wash machine. You won't be able to run if you have an electric dryer, you won't be able to run the electric dryer. But if your dryer is running off gas, then you're okay. You can still have your gas dryer. But you will be able to operate your home exclusively without electric. So if you were, well, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be turned off. It could be a situation where, you you weren't turned off from the electric company. You were turned off from a storm. A storm could have happened, just like they had it over in Puerto Rico. They had some type of power outage. It could have been a storm, but it messed up their the whole generator for the island, and now the island is dark. So whatever the catastrophe is that led to you being without power, this is an excellent opportunity for you to learn how to do solar. If this is something you're interested in, if you have questions about it, please call them, or you can ask me. We're going to have seminars about it, and you can come to the seminars and you can actually see how not so difficult it is. It is not difficult at all. We're talking about a array of, maybe for a typical home, 8 or 9 panels, about 275 watt panels, and an inverter that would accommodate close to a 10 kW system. That's 10,000 kilowatts an hour. Your typical home may use about 1,200 watts just to power your home. So this is 10,000 kilowatts an hour. And this is something you can afford. I mean, if you can buy a used car, you can buy a solar system. And this is something that is going to be needed in the future. The grid we have is highly compromised. It's overworked. They can't seem to apply enough. It can't take an EMP. Many of the grid lines are old. They're very antiquated, and each time we're constantly developing and improving technology, and we're adding more gadgets. I mean, every day. Just look at your television. Everybody's selling different gadgets. You get all type of charge controllers that powers up your phone and your laptop and your tablet. So you're constantly adding more of these gadgets that demand more energy from the grid, and the grid just can't keep up. Eventually, it's going to fall apart. And when it falls apart, you're going to be without power. So you really need to start thinking about how can I take precautionary measures so that I can address the need of my home. And you can do solar system I'm referring to. You can use this solar system in an apartment. You can do it in an RV. You can do it if you have a whole house. You can hook it up to your whole house. In fact, the system that I'm describing is a hybrid system. So you get the panels and you get the wind turbine and a battery, a small battery bank. So you should be able to run this system at least the whole day and in the evening as well. Now, in the evening you can't run as much, but during the day, especially when the sun's out, you shouldn't have much problem with any kind of power because you will be bringing in so much power that you should be able to sustain whatever the use you're using throughout your home. And we will show you how to size your system. And that's where a lot of people make their mistakes in terms of sizing their system, making sure all the components in their home is powered accordingly. So if you have questions about solar, now is the time to ask. Call the number at the bottom of the screen there, and hopefully we can get through as many questions as possible. Okay? So I'm going to spend a little time on that, and then we're going to go to our next topic. Whatever calls we get on the solar. But then we're going to go to our next topic, and we're going to talk about grant programs. Okay? And it's kind of a nice little segue because you can use grants to get your solar system. Okay? So, but you want to first find out what type of solar system you're going to have, how many panels you want, how big your battery bank's going to be, what type of inverter and charger you're going to have, and if it's going to be a hybrid. A hybrid system is both solar panels and wind turbine. And one thing you know about the wind turbine, that the wind turbine, for the wind turbine to work, your battery or generator has to turn that turbine. It has to turn it. Most people think the wind will turn the wind turbine. That's not so. It can turn it if it's a really strong enough wind, but you want to turn it at a speed where it generates electricity. And for something to turn at that velocity of speed, it has to be turning. It has to be powered to turn. And when it's powered, it has to have a consistent power to keep it going, to generate that electricity. That electricity that it generates then in turns power your battery bank. So it doesn't power the load or the home. It powers your battery bank. It fills your battery bank up. So at night you have a power system to extract your energy from. So that's the science behind that. So the hybrid system and the consists of the wind turbine and solar panels, and the two of them both work in conjunction. First, to power your battery bank. Okay, I think we have a caller. Yes, caller, what's your question or comment?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Well, I think you're doing a wonderful job. I think it's an excellent program.
Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering. I was wondering, with regards to the solar, is it impossible if I live in an apartment building?
Yeah, it doesn't. We have a great system, and this is a portable solar hybrid generator. It's about the size of a woman's purse, and you can take this generator, and you could plug up your refrigerator, your stove, your any appliances you have in your home. You can plug them all up in there, and put your panels in the window of your apartment, facing the sun, and you can power your whole house. You can power. Excuse me. You can power your whole house, so it wouldn't be a problem using the system. And the good thing about the system is that it makes no noise.
That's truly remarkable.
Yeah. So no, that's not a problem. And we have different systems. Of course, the system I just described to you for the apartment, it would be great for an RV or maybe a trailer home. In your case, an apartment. But then we have other systems that if you wanted to plug into your home, I mean literally plug a 240 plug from your electrical panel into the generator. You can power your entire house, and we're talking about a total of 12,000 watts. The typical home may use about 1,200 watts, but we're talking about 12,000 watts an hour. And that should be able to power your home with very little, if any at all, difficulty. But it's definitely the future. And the caller is still there? Okay. But there's also grants. There are also grants for anyone who's looking to. I think we have another caller. This caller?
Yes. Yes, I wanted to ask a couple of questions and make a point. So I do understand that there are grants and certain subsidies that exist in the system, so people should be made aware of those. However, do you offer a means by which you can calculate the existing cost for someone to change this, and move into your system versus conventional power? So how long would it take them to recoup the cost? In other words, even with the grants and subsidies, there's still a initial outlay for the equipment and installation and so forth. So the question is, how does one calculate their initial cost, and how long it's going to take them to recoup that cost in terms of savings?
Okay, now that's a great question, and actually, you hit a portion. It's really what ran a lot of people away from solar, because of that, because they looking at the initial cost to buy into solar was so high that people would say, you know what, I can just pay the electric bill, which is nowhere near the cost that I got to pay to become a part of solar. I like the ideal, but it's too expensive. So they start giving these, they're telling me I got to wrap up, but let me try to get this information. Let me do this, sir. Let me do this, because they're telling me I got to wrap up. Hold on for 1 second. Take down this information, 1309 South Kedzie. There's our number right there. It's 773-522-2420. You can call me there, and I can give you much more detail, because the way we're doing it now, we're making it so that we're reducing your costs by using all grants. So you're going to be using all grants. You're not going to have any costs to get into the solar. And I don't have the time. I wish I had more time to go over this with you, but I don't. So call me at that number, and I will make sure you get the grant information so you can get the grant and you can get your system. You still there, caller? Okay, he's gone. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna put that information back out there one more time for you guys who want to know. You're not gonna spend a lot of money. Okay, you're not gonna spend a lot of money on it. So get this information.